Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We have loads of water vapor in the atmosphere this week. You're going to feel it in the form of humidity and maybe even experience it in the form of a couple flooding downpours possible almost every day this week, if not every afternoon and evening. We've got chances for downpours, storms, showers. It's going to be a wet, damp week for several periods during every given day coming up this week. So be prepared for some wet periods mixed in with some dry periods. It's going to be humid, even if it's not completely hot. It should be seasonably toasty. We'll go through all the details. I'm live at cwg.live, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. All of us on all four of our social media channels are on at Capital Weather. The dew point scale is worth noting this week. We've got dew points well into the 70s. It is going to feel pretty darn muggy, sultry at times. I wouldn't be surprised if we get near 80 degrees once or twice. We've got Chantal to our south. Luckily, much of this moisture, the flooding potential is in south central Virginia at closest to the DC area. So we're okay for the time being. And precipitation animation shows this week we've got off and on shower storms and downpours most of the time for afternoon and evening hours, but can't rule out some strong severe storms. Even tomorrow, one or two could have some gusty winds with the remnants of Chantal moving closest to our area, but Tuesday is pictured below. We could see maybe a little bit of hail and some gusty, damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour is also possible. But just to reiterate, currently tonight, we're in a good place overall with the flooding downpours from Chantal focused south of the region. You can see in the green, the dark green there, that's a flood watch in south central Virginia and parts of North Carolina, and even some flood warnings there in the red. So, key messages from Chantal in the near term, it's becoming less of a problem, kind of more confined in the areas with beach issues like rip currents and beach erosion. And also, flooding, inland flooding is also still a concern in North Carolina, as we showed you in south central Virginia. Several inches of rain could fall in a short period of time there. But for the DC area, luckily, this is staying kind of away from us. The bulk of it, the core of the threat, is staying south of the region. But again, downpours can't be ruled out every single day this week. We have an ever so slight chance every single day this week for a couple flooding downpours in the region. So please remember, turn around, don't drown. Not a high chance of flooding. Not It's not likely, but we do want to be careful if we encounter flooded roadways or flood waters ahead of us. Just remember, turn around, don't drown. It only takes a little bit of water to sweep you away or your car away. Here are the rain amounts. Look at this for the next 7 days. Several inches, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain is possible in the region over the next 7 days by the time you talk to me for our next Sunday Sunset Live Q&A chat. Remember, I'm Camden Walker. This is our weekly 20-minute chat on CWG.live on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram, on all five of our channels right now. And we're talking about a wet, humid week, toasty at times, and even some clouds mixing in at times. This is kind of the least of our concerns, but if you're looking for brighter skies, they're most likely for Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Here is the last National Hurricane Center, kind of showing you Chantal there in North Carolina. It's rapidly dissipating, expected to probably just be a remnant low tomorrow in Virginia, that's the closest approach to the DC area and our next named storm. Should we see one, not likely in the next 7 days by that previous map just now, but our Dexter is the D name next on the list. And allergy sufferers, let me recap before I take your questions and comments. We've got a little bit of allergies around for some mold and some grasses that are kind of the standouts right now for the recent week, the recent reading. And looking into next work week, a sneak preview: temperatures leaning above average and precipitation leaning above average as well. All right, let me put up the current radar as we take your questions and comments. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We're at Capital Weather on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram, and live right now on CWG.live anytime you need us, 24/7. But this is our weekly 20-minute chat, our Sunday Sunset Live Q&A chat. Burns, Pikutu, Dono, J Meg, thanks for tuning in. Gracie 26, Thursday evening could still have some downpours. Gracie 26 on Instagram. We are not out of the woods. The entire week really has a threat of shower storms and downpours, a couple of which could be intense downpours causing some patchy flooding. Salty Plant, thanks for tuning in. LT Arnamo, Mrs. Donia, JF Lay, thanks so much. Smith Jen, and we've got IZT, and Jennifer and Sandy, thanks so much. And Brian, Hello in Wilmington. Thanks so much for tuning in on Facebook. Brian, that's great. And Steve, hey, and Culpepper. We're back in the soup this week. I'm glad you enjoyed the nice weather recently. David, yes, indeed. We are covering the Texas floods, very tragic on CWG.live. So please check out our latest reporting there. And Saucy Scorpio, indeed, lots of rain this week. In the next 7 days, could see 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in parts of the region. Remember when we were in the drought for a year? We had that drought watch, and now it is a thing of the past. Laura on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, Laura and Nadell. We could see still some downpours and precipitation like we are seeing this week sneak into the weekend. As you can see here, Friday and Saturday, still chances for showers, storms, and downpours going into the weekend, unfortunately, Laura. All right. Andrew, I love that you're tuning in from X. I hope you have a good game. And let's see, Lisa, past few days of weather, I am glad you love those. Excellent. And Jose, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. And David, hello. And Laura, you're most welcome. And Rick, let's see, so far, smoke is generally behaving for the wildfire smoke. I haven't seen a major deterioration predicted for air quality index this week, but it's worth watching. And Dave, good evening. And Ron, thanks so much for tuning in. Ron B. Weather, that's excellent to see you on YouTube. And Ruth Lisa, hello. Great indeed. Indeed, David, lots of rain. Rather to see this than drought, yes, but I don't want to, hopefully get too much too quickly this week. These showers and storms are not, all day washouts, generally favoring Tuesday through Friday, generally favoring the afternoon, evening hours. But with Chantal nearby tomorrow, we could see some morning, midday showers, storms, and downpours. But after Chantal starts exiting on Tuesday, yes, we do see this chance for still some strong to severe storms, maybe a little bit of hail, strong wind gusts over 57 miles per hour. But these are downpours that are threatening all week, and a slight chance, just a slight chance. Don't want to no need for anxiety or alarm, but it is an interesting week that we have so much water vapor in the atmosphere. Not only are you going to feel the mugginess with nearly sultry conditions at times on a dew point scale, near 75, if not higher at times, but these downpours are intense potentially every day this week. So we could see a little too quick precipitation fall too much too quickly. And yes, as David was saying, I prefer this to drought as long as we don't have any widespread flooding concerns. So it's something just to keep in the back of our mind. Stay a little bit weather aware this week. Green, thanks for tuning in. Rachel, Lucia, Tiny, Insta, Marilyn, and Emily, thanks so much for tuning in. RS Bark, good to see you. And Gerard and Gabby, thanks so much. And all right, Field Nuts, good to see you. And David, luckily, no tornado threat around here with Chantal. And Julia, I hope you have a great week as well. Good to see you on YouTube. And Scott, good to see you on YouTube. Mix of clouds and sun this week is a good way to say it, but I think our brightest days this week are Tuesday, if not Wednesday as well, um, with a lot of the chances for precipitation after Chantal gives us kind of a even morning hours tomorrow on Monday. We still have showers, storms, downpours threatening much of the day tomorrow. Not a complete washout. These bands that move with Chantal's remnant circulation tomorrow are going to provide intermittent, brief downpours, but they will continue to move through, and you'll see sun between some of the bands. But I think the favorable hours for Tuesday, Wednesday precipitation are later afternoon and evening, and that should allow for maybe our brightest 2 days of this week. And then rain chances and mugginess, humidity, haze come back into the picture a little bit higher again for Thursday and Friday this week. And again, here are these rainfall amounts over the next 7 days: 2, 3, 4 inches. South Sea, I don't think Barry will be retired. That was a very small circulation. We'll see. I mean, these were remnant rains and conditions from. It's hard to completely directly say Barry was fully to blame, but we will watch that. I mean, that's worth a World Meteorological Organization considering. An Amy 96 air temp for Tuesday is bad enough in and of itself. Indeed, it could feel at least 10 degrees hotter on Tuesday. I didn't want to really flag that these dew points are going to be rough this week. We could see one or two heat advisories issued, but we'll see. Tuesday may end also with some strong to severe storms at the end of the day, so we'll need to watch that as well. Let's see. Kathy, good to see you. And Paul, I don't think next weekend at this point will be a washout, maybe afternoon, evening storms. Rachel, oof, indeed. Based on these sultry dew points this week, it is going to be a little bit rough. Rick, you're most welcome. Ruth Lisa, happy belated 4th to you as well. and KB and Emily, thanks for tuning in. And David, I think a very, very slight chance for power outages this upcoming week, but nothing widespread because the soils, yes, they'll be warm. We'll have maybe the chance for some, slight chance for patchy flooding. Here's the downpours. I can basically repeat this map. This is Monday's downpour chance, very slight, but you can repeat this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday easily. But to David's point about power outages, I don't see wind accompanying, in a widespread manner, accompanying the potential for flooding downpours. Amy, it is unbearable at times with the humidity this week. Stormy, humid, soupy week. Ruth Lisa is another good way to categorize this week. I agree. David, thanks again for tuning in on Instagram. And all right, Lady Miss and Sheepy and KST and Katie, thanks so much for tuning in. All right, I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. Anytime you need us, we're 24/7 at cwg.live. This is our weekly 20-minute Sunday Sunset Live Q&A chat. I am at Capital Weather on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. So we're broadcasting to you live tonight on 5 of our media channels. And Ruth Elisa, I'm sorry your sister is flying back into the heat on Tuesday. That is a bummer. Donna, really good seeing you. Thanks for tuning in from Iowa. And we've got radar to show you how the moisture from Chantal, so far, the bulk of it is staying south of the area. That's where there are flood watches and even some flood warnings in South Central Virginia and North Carolina. So, luckily, the direct impacts for the DC area are limited for us in the DC area. But we still do see the chance for precipitation to kind of come in at the closest approach of Chantal's remnant low pressure system tomorrow. It'll enhance our rain, our humidity, our downpours. So we do see this as one of the key ingredients this week for feeling humid, for experiencing these downpours that are possible every day this week, even some strong severe storms on Tuesday. And I can't even rule out a couple strong storms tomorrow as well. So it's worth watching. Nothing widespread, luckily, nothing high impact or high confidence. But intensity on a couple of these storms could be strong to severe this coming week. Tuesday may be the day with some extra oomph to our heat, in addition to our high humidity. Lots of water vapor is going to be felt in the air this week with nearly sultry conditions. So the key messages for Chantal as it has started to dissipate is an inland flooding concern for South Central Virginia and North Carolina, and still scraping the coast. The beaches still are going to have a rough time for a little while longer with some beach erosion and some rip currents. So the good news for us in the DC area, these high impact pieces, the ingredients from Chantal are going to stay south of us, but we do see the chance for some downpours tomorrow. Patchy flooding can't be ruled out, even 1 or 2 strong severe storms with maybe some wind gusts over 57 miles per hour, but wind overall is not a concern. Thursday AM flight, Amy, sounds like a decent idea to me. Ruth Elisa, I love that your sister was at Hershey Park recently. Hopefully, it was a little bit cooler up there, a little bit maybe. DPR, thanks for tuning in, and Castan and Jill and Mary Weatherman and Mr. USA and Jamie and Scully and Babam. All right, and Lania, thanks for tuning in as well. All right, let me walk you through the next few minutes. I think I'm on the air another, let's see, 6 minutes or so. Thanks for tuning in, DC Tropics, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Let's me point properly. So Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, and at cwg.live. There we go. We've got humidity this week. Let's see if it'll give me a reaction for, it won't even do maybe some fireworks. There we go. So let's have some fireworks for the humidity this week. The water vapor will be high in the atmosphere. It'll come in the form of high humidity that you'll feel. And these downpours are threatening, maybe some intense ones, a couple intense ones, every single day this week. Chantal, tomorrow is the main spark that will give us some showers, storms, and downpours, even in the morning and midday hours, but leaning toward more activity, maybe even a couple strong storms in the afternoon hours and evening hours tomorrow. So far, Chantal's moisture bands, the bands that have been swinging through, if you've been watching radar this afternoon, They've come in from the southeast, swinging up toward the northwest. Overall, the bulk of the moisture is not reaching our region. We've had a few showers, brief downpours, no lightning yet, which is very nice. But it is going to add up over the next 7 days, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. After Chantal even moves out on Tuesday, we have the chance for some strong to severe storms with a stalled front, taking advantage of the plentiful water vapor and tropical moisture that is going nowhere, even behind Chantal this week. So it is going to remain a concern. Maybe not worth planning around, not worth high anxiety, but thunderstorms could happen every day this week, especially afternoon and evening hours. We could see patchy flooding, strong severe storms, a couple at least, especially Tuesday pictured below. These could have some damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour, maybe some hail, and a couple flooding downpours can't be ruled out as well. So it's overall a hit or miss pattern this week. But when you are hit by precipitation, it could be briefly intense. There could be these intense winds as well as intense downpours, and maybe even some hail. So it's worth watching with us this week. We have the an unstable atmosphere that's very moist, with a spark ingredients being number one Chantal, and number two a front that's going to stall right near and over our region. So it's going to be an interesting week to just watch radar with us. David makes a good point. It is going to maybe help some of these pollen concerns that we've got. A little bit of grass, a little bit of mold and mildew has been an issue. Jay Dallas is talking about his concert, hoping it is not going to be raining. Let's hope not. For your concert, Captain Jardley and Ryan Croft and Leland, thanks so much for tuning in. And JF and Lady Miss Becca, thanks for tuning in. And Skywalker Beth, indeed, humidity is a main concern this week. We're going to feel it with dew points near, if not over, the sultry level. So please hang in there. And really good seeing you, Skywalker Beth, on Instagram, and Meg and Carrie and Manger and Trivia. Good to see you. But yeah, David has a good point about the pollen. Hopefully, we can wash some of that out of there. Catherine, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. Lisa asked when is fall. I think typically after Columbus, Indigenous peoples' time in the middle of October, we start feeling a little bit milder. Ruth, Lisa, bummer indeed. It's going to feel very humid this week. And Vegan, good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in on X. You stay well, cool, and safe as well. All right. David, rain chances for tomorrow with Chantal. Let's look at radar really quick. So Chantal so far is staying to our south, but sneaking a little bit of moisture. Some of these bands are rotating in from southeast to northwest. So rain chance timing for tomorrow, because Chantal is making its closest approach to our region, could be most any time. Some showers and downpours can't be ruled out even in the morning hours, but thunderstorms do get going from midday into the afternoon hours as well. Then Tuesday onward, when we do maybe see Tuesday a strong storm chance, a little bit higher even than tomorrow, Monday, we might generally favor afternoon into evening hours for the main thunderstorms and downpour potential. But the good news in the short term for the DC area, the watches and warnings with Chantal are staying kind of south of us right now. It is an inland flooding risk for even south central Virginia and parts of North Carolina, and even still scraping the beaches for a little while longer. But we are not without some indirect effects even tomorrow. We do have the potential for some downpours, a few of which could produce some flooding conditions. Brief patchy flooding is possible. And over the next 7 days, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain cannot be ruled out. This is going to be a very moist atmosphere. It'll feel very humid. It will rain down on us like wringing a washcloth out many afternoons, if not every afternoon into evening of this week. Ruth Lisa, I love that fall is when your birthday is. Mary, good to see you on Facebook. And HB Purcell and Ryan, good to see you on Instagram. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm about to sign off. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We're at cwg.live. Anytime need us, we're also streaming live there tonight. And on our 4 social media channels right here. We've got Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. Follow us at Capital Weather on those channels. And again, this is every week. We do this 20-minute chat. And I'm really pleased to see you and prepare you for this humid week. Lots of rain coming with this humidity, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain over the next 7 days. And even some of these downpours could be a little bit intense as Chantal moves closest to our region tomorrow. No widespread or major flooding concerns, but these downpours could be intense tomorrow and even much of this week. We have a tropical atmosphere sitting over us. Even after Chantal exits, we could see strong to severe storms on Tuesday, slight chance there. Because we do have a stuck cold front, it just stalls over our region. So we've got too many ingredients not to produce thunderstorms, downpours, maybe patchy flooding, and even some hail and gusty winds in a couple of these storms as well. So it's going to be the peak summer week, right? Where we are, if you're not ready for it, this is one of the hottest times of year. It is going to feel sultry at times at dew points at or above 75. So please do take it a little bit easy. And notice it is very warm potentially on Tuesday and Wednesday, our brightest days of the week with the most sunshine, could be our warmest of the week as well. So we'll keep that in the back of our minds as well. So hydrate carefully. We'll see if maybe one or two heat advisories are issued. But again, every day this week does have maybe a strong to severe storm chance, with also the chance for some couple of flooding downpours as well. So it is going to be a dynamic week, maybe not a washout any given day, but the peak summertime is here with heat, humidity, haze, and thunderstorms. So please be well, and I'll see you